There you go. There you go. Oh my goodness. Are you ready? Are you ready? I just want to know, are you ready? This is, man, the business entrepreneur mindset. And right now, we need more entrepreneurs. We need more winners to take it to the next level. So if you're in business for yourself, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, we want to hear from you. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're watching from. My name is Marlon Smith, and very excited to be here with you to welcome to another episode of the Real Money Coach. And thank you, Alice. Alice is here in the house. Who else is here? Alice is in Charlotte. Okay. And oh, Dr. Bonita Harris is here. Charlotte is representing y'all. I'm excited because, again, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, winning the business game. Okay. Ruth is here. Great to have you, Ruth. So I see three ladies, and I just want to know, where are the men? Where are the men? Okay. Because listen, what it's all about is about having a good time. And I'm so grateful because what we're doing, Karen from, Tacoma, Washington. So we got East Coast, we got West Coast, all right, that we are not playing up in here. Brother Day is here, okay, from Boston. And so this is really wonderful because, again, how many of you are in business for yourself right now? Or maybe, have an entrepreneurial idea. If you, or have ever been in business, say yes or no. Just type it in the chat box, yes or no. A, have you ever had a business? Are you in business right now? Do you want to be a business owner? Go ahead and type it in the chat box because, again, what this is about is just seeing where we are. And I'm very excited. Let's bring on my colleague, Tony Jackson, because tonight's show is going to be phenomenal. Let's bring Tony on. There he is, bow tie and all. What's up,
hey, Marlon.
What's up?
And I'm yes tonight. Look,
wait a minute.
Huh? Now, this ain't the fancy ones you find in New Greek.
Right.
Hey.
Man, I'm telling you, man, you look good, man. When Damien sees you, he might say, yo, I got to get some clippers in your hand, okay?
Man, listen, that's the only thing, man. I got busy today. I was going to run out to No Grease, at No Grease and Carolina places where I normally go, and I was going to get tightened up. And so I didn't get a chance to do that, but I said, in honor of my special guest tonight, I'm gonna rock the bow tie, okay?
Right.
Is in the house.
Right.
What you say? In his house, right?
There you go. Okay.
I'm excited tonight.
I can see.
Marlon, let's talk about last week.
Okay.
Man, tell me what you thought of last week, man. Tell me what you thought.
Man, Corey Vu really brought it. And, for those of you that have not subscribed to our The Real Money Coach YouTube page, please do that. Go to YouTube right now, type in the search bar, The Real Money Coach, and go ahead and subscribe. Because if you did not see last week's video, if you weren't there live, man, you missed it. And one of the things that really Corey Vu talked about was how, he was over Vietnam. Right. And the war broke out, and his dad, 9 kids, said, "Hey, we gotta bounce, we gotta roll." And they separated the family into 3, 4, 3, and it was amazing how they just basically ended up going to Hawaii, then coming to the U.S., the mainland. And he talked about how being bullied, talked about how it took years to get the English language. But yet now, I think he, $1.8 million within the last 12 months, Tony?
Yes, man, just ridiculous amount of money, man. And I was thinking about just, he was talking about being in a refugee camp and how they would sneak into the resorts and the hotels to swim until they got kicked out.
Right.
And then he talked about how, Asian people were thrown in pits and dynamite thrown down there with them. And you think about, man, that there's so many people in our culture that have been through so much.
Right.
And one of the things that I thought was really remarkable about that is, I think sometimes when we have been removed from it, from a couple generations, right? Because I was born in Okay, well, anyway, I was born, man, it was after the civil rights movement, right? Yeah. And so we didn't get a chance to really, or we didn't experience dogs being let out on us. We didn't experience water hoses being let on us. And I don't ever remember going up to a drinking fountain and it said whites only or black only. And I think because we are a generation or two removed from some of the Jim Crow things, that sometimes we don't have the same thrive, the same passion. Because one of the things that he said that really said, I will not go back to that place.
Yes. Yeah. And, I think, Tony, what you're really talking about is drive and hunger, having that fight. When I went to University of Virginia, I studied electrical engineering in school, and my parents had me watch Eyes on the Prize, talking about civil rights movement, PBS, right? It was a 6-part series, and it really opened my eyes. And I'll never forget going, and studying. Sometimes I was the only African American guy in the class, never had an African American professor. And I said, for my grandparents and for my great grandparents, I'm going to do my best. Failure is not an option. And so with that, I think what I got from really last week is, again, that's why I brought up his past, because he came from very humble.
Really glad you did that, man.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you.
I never had heard his story before. I had no idea.
Yeah. And, tonight we're going to get into it with Damien as well. Damien and his brother Jermaine, they've had their journey, their story as well, right? But one of the things I think the commonality between successful entrepreneurs is having that hunger, having that drive, saying, yo, I'm going to put it in.
Right.
Because, and like you were saying, being removed from, challenges, right? Right? Think about it.
Let's not, belittle the things that were happening now. We still have them, right? We still have those challenges. That's why there is a Black Lives Matter. That's why you're seeing a lot of things happening now. But I think it was so overt then that it gave people passion to say, I'm going to do something.
That's right.
And that's why I think there's been a decline in home ownership among African Americans and all this type of things. And I know there was no Black history class in high school.
Right.
Where I learned anything that I didn't know about Black history is my parents had the I can't remember the name of it, but it may have been like the Ebony Negro Encyclopedia or
Okay.
Okay. There was a whole set of encyclopedias. And I remember I used to go, they were brown, and I'd go and I'd look at the pictures and I'd read in that encyclopedia, and I really got really started studying Martin Luther King and all those things. And one of the things that's so interesting is if you were to go back and look at his final speech.
Sure.
His final speech, it was he was talking about economics. It was the Poor Man's March in Memphis, Tennessee. And he was calling for a boycott of Coca-Cola, Wonder Bread, and these places because we wanted them to change their hiring practices, how they were treating us. And then he said to everyone in that room is to go downtown tomorrow, take all of your money out of the bank and go put it in the black bank.
Sure.
So they killed him that evening. And so, and so when you think about it, man, it's just, we're talking about recycling the dollars, supporting, businesses. And that's what I love about the entrepreneur that we have tonight, man. I'm so glad you introduced me. I didn't know anything about No Grease, man. I didn't know anything about it. And then you introduced me to these guys, man. And those are my boys. I told my wife, man, when I walk into Carolina Place, it's Cheers, right? Cheers, like you want to go where somebody knows your name.
That's right.
Glad you came.
Right.
That's what it feels like when I walk into No Grease, man. And
that's awesome, man. It's, and what I love about, Damien and Jermaine, they're really committed, man. They're really committed to the community. My mom was here and we went out to the No Grease family cookout, and they had the music and they had, fun games and so they're really about making a difference. And, just like I see right now, Karen, over in Washington State said yes, as far as when I asked the question about, the business ownership. Brother Dave says, I'm in the process. Dr. Bonita Harris says, I'm a business owner. Rick says FFS, right? And so, and then a lot of people are commenting on your bow tie, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, so that's awesome, man. But you know, one of the things that I'm really excited, and we'll bring this brother up, is when I first moved here to Charlotte, just things happen on purpose, and he became my barber, and man, we used to have these talks. That's one thing. It wasn't just a haircut. Right? It wasn't just a haircut. And one of the things, about No Grease, their whole mission is about making a difference. They say their motto is, we're not your ordinary barbershop, right?
Yeah.
It's an experience. And with the bow tie, I mean, Damien, I mean, we have these real philosophical conversations, we talk about leadership and I really love it because one of the things that, he and his brother and, the team, they were like, yeah, we got to help more Black businesses, and so they came with the urbanpreneurship, they got their own book and, and so, there you go. All right. I'm telling you, when Damien comes on the screen, he might, I mean, you got the book, you got the bow tie, you might be like, yo,
I might enroll in the school in a minute.
So look. So listen, y'all. I mean, y'all are in for a treat because again, Tony's download was, man, let's start profiling, entrepreneurs, right? And let's really get to the nitty. And one thing about Damien, he'll keep it real. That's what I love about this brother.
And that's what we want. We want the real deal, sugar coated, straight, no chaser. We want it straight. Because we want our listeners, and we've said this, Marlon, I don't know how many times we said this, we believe that everyone should have their own business.
Right.
Every person should have their own business, whether you call it a side hustle or whatever. Dr. Frazier says, hey, if you have a farm and you need to become, you go out there and scoop some manure and become a manurepreneur, right?
Right.
And put it in a bag, put your name on it and sell it. We believe in entrepreneurship. We believe it is the backbone of our community. And another book that I have here, man, that I have the Green Book, right? It's the Green Book, and it had every Black business in that book. Where in the 50s, and I think I have the 1949 edition of the book.
Wow.
And it had all these places where when we traveled, we could go and stay.
Okay.
We could stay at this hotel. We saw people in our hometown. Miss Mormon's house is in there, Jackson, Michigan, and on South Milwaukee Street. And then you could see all these businesses, restaurants, and places that we could go to stay. We got to bring that back. We got to bring that back of circulating dollars in our own community.
Sure.
And supporting those who support us. Now here's the thing: if you don't support, you could be a minority business owner and not support the minority community. That's not who we're talking about. We're talking about other businesses that support our people and the people that are important for us. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm like George, man. George says, it's not Black only. It's just Black first. All right.
Sure.
And so that's what it's all about. And so I'm loving what we're doing. You've been an entrepreneur. We ought to have you as a guest on the show. You've been
right. Yeah, 28 years. 28 years. 28 years and 6 months, to be exact. Yeah. But but listen, I want to go ahead and get this man on the screen. And for those of you watching, I want you to go ahead and click the share button, do a watch party, because you want to really let your family, your friends know. We always get emails from people saying, man, my cousin should have been on, my friend should have been on, my neighbor. Go ahead and click the share button right now. It doesn't cost you anything, because that way on your Facebook Live or whatnot, they can see, they can tap in. And then for those of you that, again, haven't liked our YouTube page, go ahead and just, go to YouTube, click The Real Money Coach, type that in and subscribe, because you can see we're on a mission. And that's really what it's all about. So let's go ahead and bring this man up.
I want to say this one more thing too, because we have people from all over. We got Dave from Boston. We got Karen from Washington State. We got Adele from Greenville, and there's people from Atlanta on the call. And I just want to say, No Grease is a local business, but it's coming to your neighborhood. So let's bring in on the stage, Mr. Damien Johnson of No Grease.
All right. There he is.
How y'all doing?
What's up,
How
Damien?
you doing?
How y'all doing, man?
Hey
Good.
man, hey Damien. I didn't get the memo, man. I have no bow tie. Okay.
I know. I had to go grab mine real quick.
That's good, man. That's good. So go ahead, Tony. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I thank y'all for just allowing me to be on this opportunity with you guys, man, just to build and share and just be amongst like minds.
Yeah, man. It's pretty awesome, man. I've been around you a few times. We talked quite frequently, you know. So we're really looking forward to you sharing some stuff with us. I know you and Marlon have known each other a while.
Yeah, that's my man. Yeah,
thank you,
Marlon.
brother. Yeah, man.
I miss cutting your hair, Marlon.
You see, I need you, brother. You see, I need you. Right?
I see you got the juices in there.
Hey, look, Damien, man, let's talk, man. You from Buffalo. You and your brother came down to Johnson C. Smith.
Yep.
I mean, talk to us about your journey, man. And I want to pre-frame it like this, Damien. You know, we got viewers. I asked the question: how many are entrepreneurs? How many want to be an entrepreneur? Right? You know, how many were an entrepreneur but no longer? So I want you to talk about, man. You know, what gave you the gumption, right? What gave you the thought, you and your brother, that you could be entrepreneurs? I mean, just let's start at the beginning. Talk to us about, because I know about your mom, so you can talk about your mom, you know, but
Absolutely.
please go ahead.
Yeah, it would definitely start with my mom, man. She was definitely a big influence. She was a hairstylist. So we watched her do hair in the kitchen. We watched her do hair in the basement of Buffalo, New York. So we was always around it. And then, you know, having a twin brother, and we always kind of challenging each other, and we were natural builders, you know, whether we was building a tree house or we were building bikes. So we was always constantly building things. And then, you know, when you start seeing how the economic part can play into your creativity, then those juices start rolling, and you just kind of keep going and you keep going. So our mom was our biggest supporter, and then, you know, family and friends, because we started cutting hair at 11 or 12 years old. So you know, once people were actually impressed that we actually could cut hair, and then they were paying us for the service, man, it was just like, you know, you was feeding a monster that wasn't going to stop after that. So from then on, everything that we did, you know, we kind of always had an entrepreneurial type of perspective on everything that we were doing, whether it was education, whether it was you know, just working a newspaper job, or working, even when we worked at McDonald's, we still was like, yo, how can I open up my own McDonald's? You know what I'm saying? So everything was about, you know, how can you you know, open up a business. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's powerful. We had a little technical challenge. I kind of zoomed out a little bit for a second. Can you guys hear me okay? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And so, man, you know, your mom, right?
Yep.
An example, you and Jermaine would build things, and then so you went to Johnson C. Smith. What did you study?
I studied business marketing. So when we finished high school, my brother got an engineering scholarship to go to Alfred University, and I was just hooked on going to HBCU. And my grandfather had lived in North Carolina, so you know, JCSU was close to him, so Charlotte was my destination. Got here to Charlotte, and I studied business marketing, man. I was there, even though we knew we wanted to open up a business early on, we still believed in education. So, you know, education was a big part. We both were, I ended up graduating. My brother, he did 2 years and said, you know, I'm good. Let me go straight into barbering. And I finished off, you know, my degree. And so I was the first to graduate from college. And I actually did my business plan in college. So the no grease that you see today was birthed, I mean, on paper at Johnson C. Smith.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So you think about, you go to college and you do these business plans and you do this, but you were like purposeful. You know, I'm doing this not for grade, but I'm doing this for life. I mean, this is my passion. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we did our. You know how you do your thesis or whatever.
Yeah.
Mine was called strategic marketing in the barber industry. That was my whole study was strategizing, because what I had learned was that the average urban or black barbershop did not do business plans. They didn't do any type of strategy. They did no type of marketing, and so I saw a lane wide open for us to just go right in. Yep.
Wow. Wow.
You know, and that's something I really wanted to talk about when I sent out my email to all my customer stuff today. I talked about that what you've done is you've taken a mainstay in our community, the barbershop, the beauty shop, and we know the story of Madam C.J. Walker and others, and even Mr. Up in Greensboro. Man, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but we know of those stories. But what you did and what I'm seeing is that you transformed that normal model and you've made it into something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about that.
So to your point, you know, studying the Madam C.J. Walker's, even before then, Alonzo Hernan was out of Atlanta. Yeah. He started Atlantic Life Insurance. You know, but he was a barber though. Then it was another brother, and I want to say John Merrick in Raleigh. You know, he's part of that whole Black Wall Street movement there. And then in Charlotte, North Carolina, it was another barber by the name of Thaddeus Tate. So all of this is in the early 1900s, late 1800s and early 1900s. These were, if you hear of any Black Wall Street, there was always a barber that was present. You know, historically, Black barbershops have been that economic freedom for us. You know, we were able to build economic wealth through the barber industry and the hair industry. And I always tell people this is one of the very few natural resources that we own is the hair on top of our heads. And so, you know, that natural resource allows us to work freely without any interference from other people.
Wow, that's good, man.
When I first heard you say that our hair is a natural resource, I'm like, man, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Say that. I want to thank Timmy Day for saying Joe Dudley was the name that I was trying to go.
Yeah, Mr. Dudley.
You know, Mr. Fuller before that, and so forth. And so, you know, and I found it interesting. I went to the Museum of the New South and to see some of the barbershops from that time period you're talking about. We got some of the pictures, they got some of the chairs, and just to see how that's always been a part of our economic base has been barbershop.
Yeah. And I mean, there's books on that. I mean, there's a book called Knights of the Razor.
That's right.
Yeah, Black Barbers in Slavery and Freedom, and it's historically documenting, you know, how we got our freedom through the barbering industry. Like that was one of because, you know, before we were cutting each other hair, we were cutting white people first, because you know, we didn't have any wealth, we didn't have any money. We would cut each other hair on Sundays, but we were cutting the masters and the wealthy white people, you know, during the week. So it's documented, man, that was one of the vehicles that we used, the first vehicles that we used financially to get our freedom.
And I remember when you brought that historian, you know, to Charlotte, right? And you know, it was fascinating, right? I mean, this historian had studied, you know, just what you were saying, like this is real fact. And so, you know, I think one of the things that's so important is, and Tony really hit it, you know, when you learn about our history, right? When you learn about Black Wall Street, when you learn about some of these icons, I know for me, when I read Dr. Dennis Kimbro's book, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice.
Oh yeah.
About C.J. Walker, the first female millionaire, right? $2.02 and became the first female millionaire. And then I read John Johnson, Ebony and Jet, who basically took his mom's furniture and used it to get a bank loan, $500, and, you know, for collateral, his mom's furniture. And that was the spark of, you know, Ebony and Jet. And so, Damian, from your standpoint, you know, Tony and I, in our kind of like our initial opening, you know, comments, we said that, it feels like, that when you have to get it done, you find a way.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, man, from your perspective, I mean, you think about what we did when we didn't have much.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
my grandfather, man, acres of land and great grandparents. I mean, so have we gotten comfortable? I want to talk about 2020. What's your perspective, man?
Yeah, that is a big challenge that I see with the up and coming entrepreneurs and people in my industry. There's been such a I don't want to say carpet laid out for them, or red carpet laid out for them, that they could just walk through certain doors that we wasn't able to walk through. And maybe that's what the generation before us would say about us. But I do think we have to create uncomfortable situations for us now, because everything is so laid back, and people are just kind of getting things I'm not gonna say handed to them, but it's not the same fight. It's
Right.
so many ways to make money now. It's just so many ways to make money that doesn't necessarily require a lot of labor, a lot of in some cases even brain power. So I think we have to create uncomfortable situations now.
Got it.
Well, one of the things you just said there, and one of the things that we talked about last week was work ethic.
Yeah.
And I think it still requires work ethic. I mean, I still think it requires a grind. So tell me a little bit about what your grind has been like. I know you just celebrated 23 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Last week before last, or something like that. 23 years in business. Tell us a little bit about that grind over the years.
Now, I'm going to use some terms that people might make them uncomfortable, but okay. I say this: if you haven't become a slave to your business or your dream or your whatever, I mean, literally, just think about our ancestors, what they did to build this country, and if you can't inflict that on yourself to bring your dreams, to bring your business, to bring your ideals to pass, then you're not working hard at all. I mean, literally, 15, 16 hours a day was normal. And I'm talking basically 6 days. We only took 1 day off in those early years. That was just Sunday. We was just observing the Lord on his day. But
Right.
I mean, we worked some crazy hours, and it's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of compromise with your family, with your friends. We literally, I remember, and this was not too long ago, that people were working for us that were making more money than me, because I was making sure that they were getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And those are some of the sacrifices you have to do if you really want to, take your business and your legacy to another level. So it's just a huge undertaking when you go into business for yourself. And if you're not willing to really put those hours in, you dreaming about it, you wake up thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's it's on you, and your loved ones can get tired of you. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And quite honestly, it's not. I do believe everybody should work for themselves, or at least have their own business, whether they're invested or not, or they're working it or not. But I do believe we have to be able to identify those persons who have that gift of just at all costs. That person jumps out there and just go, because everybody don't have that gift.
Right. So everybody can't. Some people have to test the water. Some people have to keep their toe in the water, and others just jump in with both feet. And I do think we have to be careful, because jumping in with both feet is not meant for everybody.
No. You might go all the way down.
So we do have to be careful when we say that. It's like you can't just test the water. You can't dip your toe in it. But some you need to keep your foot in one foot in the water and the other foot in the land.
Absolutely.
But then there are some people that can take the risk and they can handle it.
Yep.
Because they have that internal drive that they're going to do it. They're going to survive. Marlon talked about failure's no option. There are people that have that, but everybody doesn't have it. And so I say, and I think we say this when I say everybody should have their own business, maybe not necessarily full time. Maybe that's not your primary source, but it is a stream of income, even if it's not your primary stream of income, and that's okay too.
Yeah, if that person can identify the person who likes to jump in and invest in that person,
right?
You in business too. You working too now. It's just that your gift is a little different.
Right.
You need to be a partner with somebody like that. But,
and so, Damian, with that, man, I'm sure you see that, brother. I mean, you got a barber school, right? I mean, so you get a lot of young brothers come. Tony and I went down to Atlanta. We stopped off at your No Grease down in Atlanta. One of the young brothers, man, he was in his early, I think, 20s, man. I said, Damian, who should I go to? You're like, yo, go to my man. But he came straight from your barber school to the opportunity, right, in Atlanta. So, what Tony's saying is so appropriate because I'm sure you see the whole spectrum of mentality.
Yes, sir.
But also, I know, one of the things that you have, you're mentoring.
Yeah.
You're mentoring these young brothers, right? Because it doesn't happen overnight, right?
Yep.
And so, from your perspective, for our viewers, what do you think? What are you doing to? What values are you instilling? I know work ethic. How do you get there, man? For somebody who doesn't know, has never seen it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, talk to us about your process.
Okay.
For helping those individuals.
That's good. So we have a mantra that we go by. We say we develop people who develop communities, who develop we develop people who develop families, who develop communities, and it all starts with a haircut. And so we know that first we have to develop the person, get that person stable, whether it's financially, whether it's his housing, whether it's his or her transportation, stabilize them, get them to a place where they're saving money, making money, investing money. And then they move into that next phase of, family. Now they're ready for family, supporting their family, building their family, nurturing their family. And then once we get them to that place, then it's community. Now you can better off, build your community. And so those are the phases. So we try to stabilize them, get them to a place where they can maintain themselves and save and invest, and then get them to a place where they could take care of family, or whether they have a family or extended family, get them to that place. And then this community, really, whether it's volunteering, whether it's community service, whatever it is, those are the things that we do, and we use it all through the barbering industry. That's why we say it all starts with a haircut.
Man, that's pretty awesome. And then what I know about you is you're not just talking about it, man. You're actually implementing it. You put money behind what you're saying and all those types of things. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about is the transition. Now, what I'm familiar with and what I've always seen is the barber rent model, right? You rent there, and then they whatever, it's a cash flow business, right? You've changed that, and I think when we have and probably I want to talk a little bit about COVID-19.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would think from what I know, and we've had guests on our show. We've had Nicole on our show. We've had Michelle Mitchell on our show, and we talked about some of the things that were available: unemployment, PPE. And for some barbers that are under the traditional system, those things went right by them. But I think in your situation that there are probably some barbers that were able to take advantage of some of those things because of your business model, which is not the everyday model that we think of. Now, transitioning from the old model to the new model, I know there had to have been some sleepless nights. There had to have been some people who probably jumped ship.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us a little bit, what was that transition like?
So it's funny, one of your callers had mentioned Mr. Dudley. And we were beating our head up on how to grow our business. This had to be almost 20 years ago. And we couldn't figure out how to get over this hump of how to grow our business. So traditionally, especially Black barbershops and salons, they're booth rent shops. They're just they're booth rent shops. And those who know that, basically, you don't have any control over your business for the most part. As an owner, you don't have any control. You really don't know what's going on in your business. You're not keeping up with the numbers, the number of clients, the number of dollars that's coming through your doors. You just have no clue what's going on in your business.
Wow.
And I had a contact person that actually allowed me to get on the phone with Mr. Dudley. And Mr. Dudley had visited us a couple of times, and this is years back. And my mom had went to Mr. Dudley's school, so she had me in too. So I got him on the phone, and I was telling him what we was doing. At the time, we had 2 shops.
Okay.
And I was telling them that, we just can't figure out how to get past these 2 shops. And he asked me one question. He said, are you commission or salary? That's what he asked me. Was my business commission or salary? And I said, neither. He said, you're never going to get to where you want to go until you either become commission or salary. And we scratched our heads for a long time because we had been in business for about 6-7 years at that time. And it took us another 3 years to figure it out, what he was saying.
Wow.
Because we were trying to do everything that we was going against everything he had told us. And we kept beating our head, and there was no way we could grow our business off the booth rent model. It just didn't allow us to control our business. It didn't allow us to show banks or investors our numbers, the number of clients, the number of dollars that was coming through our doors. So there was no way that anyone was going to put any dollars behind us. Because if you just say if you got 10 chairs and you charging each one of them $100, right? So your business is $1,000 a week.
Right.
That's not business.
And it's not gonna grow.
It's not gonna grow.
It's not gonna grow. Right.
And so once we figured that out, we knew, and we had lost it when we changed our system, and when we transitioned, we lost more than half our barbers. Wow. It was just a totally rebuild. Fortunately, we had already had the school, so we were able to recruit our barbers from our school to get us back going. But yeah, it was a total rebuild, but it's been a beautiful ride.
So let me jump in, because I love that. And I think that's a great question that Tony asked, and how you lost a lot of barbers, right? And so what have been some of the other challenges, Damian? I mean, I want to go real right now. I want talk to me now, because I want our viewers to understand that this ain't easy. I mean, you got y'all Shark Tank, y'all got franchise model, you got 7 barbershops, you got a barber school. So it's like, oh man, this is great. I heard 15, 16 hours a day. But I want you now to tell me, what have been some of the really pressing, challenges, man, as an entrepreneur? Because I want our viewers to understand it's not easy, but it's possible. It's possible. And if you got that fight, and that's why we want to get real, so talk to us about that, man. Give me a couple examples of
Marlon, I'll sum it up like this. We see the glory, now we want to know the story.
Right.
That's
right. Hey, so I'll start off some of the early failures, if you want to call them failures, or experiences that we learned. Lost a lot of money. You got to imagine, when we first opened up our shop, we literally we had bought a house, and we flipped the house and took all the money out the house and opened up No Grease. That's how we started No Grease. So we were risk takers always. What I'm saying? So we was in the real estate a little bit, but we were more focused on barbering. So we had a mentor that he was into real estate, and so he would help us. Let's buy a couple of houses, and we were buying houses in our name and stuff like that, and going and buying these houses, and end up losing the houses, going into foreclosures and losing money there. We've been sued before, for about $100,000. Again, bad advice from a mentor. We should have handled things a little differently, but it was a lesson learned. And imagine running a business and your working capital is gone, is zero. You just, and now, I'm calling family and friends and saying, can I borrow $100? Can I borrow $1,000 just to keep the doors open?
Wow.
Just to keep the doors open. And you're doing that with nobody knowing what's going on. Nobody knows that if you don't come up with this money, the doors will be shut. But you got to support. I mean, we reached out to family and friends, let us hold a little bit of money. I mean, I'm talking about a little bit of money. This is like, if you got $100, I need to pay this bill just to keep the door open.
Keep the lights on.
Right.
Keep the lights, literally keep the lights on. And going through that for a couple of years and then coming out of that, that was because we could have easily just shut the door and say, you know what? Because I could cut hair. I could just go back to cutting hair. I ain't gonna do all this. I'm good. Let me go get me a job at somebody else's shop.
Got it.
But we kept it going, man. We kept it going. We got through those murky waters, and things just started to kind of open up for us, man. It was relationships.
Can I say that? Ask this. Through that experience, Damien, through those trying times, man, do you believe that that's when your character, you and Jermaine, y'all grew?
Oh yeah.
If it was easy, right? Am I right? I mean, we don't grow to our highest good until talk to me.
I mean, not only your character, your faith, your beliefs. I mean, if you really want to have some God experiences, you got to go through that fire for real. Like I'm talking about now I'm just staying up praying all night. That's a whole, and you actually experiencing and I, for lack of better words, for those who understand it, you actually experiencing God work. You know what I'm saying? You seeing him happen. And that was, so you are totally a changed person once you go through that. So when we started seeing failure or what people may think was failure, we didn't look at it as failure. No, this is another opportunity to stretch ourselves, to grow, to build our faith and move into another spaces. So, and I think that experience is what most people are constantly chasing, because it's a God experience. People like, you gonna keep opening up shops? Yeah, I'm gonna keep opening shops. I'm gonna keep opening up shops because every time it's a God experience. Every time. Yeah.
I want to do this, man. Let me just do this. Let me put a shout out to your pastor, Pastor Claude, Bishop Claude.
Yes, sir. Bishop.
From
Bishop Alexander.
Man. Love that dude, man. Love that dude.
Oh my God.
That's my dude, man. Next to my own pastor, man. I got to shout out too, but that's my
right.
dude. And we have a lot of, and I'm looking at some of the people on. A lot of them go to church with you. My word is that you're a minister there as well. And so there's a lot, man. Faith has such a big part to do with it. And it was interesting. I was thinking about this in my meditation the other day. And the Bible says that faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So faith without works is dead.
Yep.
If faith without works is dead, isn't the opposite true too?
Yeah.
Works without faith is dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
When you're doing the work, you gotta have faith in what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you gotta have faith to do the work, and then the work has to have faith on top of it. And so I was just thinking about that the other day. It's just like, it's not just having faith and said, faith without works. I'm gonna go work. I'm gonna do this. When you're working, you got to have faith in what you're doing. You got to have faith in yourself.
Yeah.
You got to have faith in your plan.
Yeah.
And what I love about what you said is you started with a business plan. You wrote a business plan when you were a bull over there at GCW. Right? So important is to have a plan.
Yeah.
And to have a plan and then work that plan.
Yeah.
And what I want to ask about too, I'm sorry to cut you off, but as you were talking about coming through those trials, how did that prepare you, or do you think it had something to help you prepare for COVID-19? Because this is what we know. COVID-19 has hit. We know from African Americans' health and all that kind of stuff. But when you talk about the industry that you're in, you're talking about a business that was shut down, right?
Yep.
This is not an essential business. It's been shut down, and then you put on top of that most of your shops are in malls that were closed.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And it's not, you're not losing just booth rent, right?
Yeah.
Your business model.
Yeah.
So tell me what did you do? How did you adjust? How did you change? How did you call the audible, man?
Well, man, you ain't never lied. So the beauty was the audible was made, 15 years ago when we changed our structure. And, so when this whole thing hit us, of course, never in our 23 years have we never been affected by anything. Not 911, not the housing crisis, not anything. Nothing. People get their hair cut through all those crises. So we've never been affected. And this is
the barbershop.
They gonna get, man, listen, to go get a job, you gotta look good. So I mean, we never been affected. This was the first time that we were affected to a point that, they just shut us down. And we fortunately we did business the right way for a long enough time that the resources that was made available to businesses, we were able to tap into those things. So, the biggest part for us was, before we had got those resources, was keeping our barbers calm, keeping everybody just focused on, the light at the end of this tunnel. We had a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of training, a lot of just, come to Jesus moments. We did that all up until, we were able to pull some of those resources, and our barbers were prepared to receive some of those resources also. Okay. So that, however long that was, 2 months, 3 months that we were shut down, we told them to reflect on life and, get some things together and be ready for when this thing was over. So that was for us. That was our experience. Really, it stretched us when it came to just developing and working with people, like having those long phone calls with our barbers and our staff, and just letting them know, man, everything, we're gonna get through this. Do you need anything? Just being there for one another. Being there for one another. Yeah.
Wow. Dan, I mean, I love that question. I love your answer, man. Being there for one another, because I always say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And both of you guys know I've gone through some challenges the last couple of years, and it was family and friends like you guys that I could lean on. Just a word, it's going to be okay. A phone call. So talk to me about your inner circle. I mean, your twin. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine y'all grew up together. Look, my brother Sean and my mom used to bathe us in the same bathtub.
Been there. Yeah.
Right. So your inner circle, man, because Tony and I, we complement each other. I mean, straight up, man. This brother, man, he's got gifts that I don't have. You see what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Yeah, and so your inner circle, you and Jermaine, and and you talk about your other partner as well if you like, but. Thank you. How did that gel, man? Because there may be a time when you want to go right and he wants to go left, right? So how do you work it, man? Talk to me, for our viewers, because there's no such thing as self-made.
Nah.
You need a team, right?
Yes,
so thank you.
So of course, me and my brother, we are, even though we're twins and we're brothers, we see things totally different. I mean, he has a gifting and I have a gifting, and sometimes we don't always seeing things eye to eye. And so if you can really really sell your whatever, your ideal, your concept, and you can really sell it to the other person, then we may press forward. We got a third partner, Charlie. Charlie is totally different from me and my brother. His view is totally different, and we just kind of complement each other on respecting our gifting. And and we bring other people, because we know we don't know it all. We don't want to be the smartest guys in the room. We bring people in like Tony and Marlon. We bring y'all in, and y'all show us what we don't know, and then we just we have to make the decisions on the information that we get. So I have mentors that are that's in their 70s, in their 80s. I have very wealthy mentors. I have not so wealthy mentors. That they teach me what not to do from the mistakes they've seen and made themselves. So, I lean on them. Actually, I was on the phone with one of my mentors that's in DC, and he was just sharing something. He's 80 years old, and he was just, and he was sharing. He's never seen anything like this in his life. He's talking about the COVID and the pandemic, And you got an 80-year-old man telling you that, like, I've lived 80 years and never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And so, you just have those type of conversations, and you got to have these on a regular basis. You got to lead on these people regularly. Family, your spouse, your kids. You gotta really have everybody on the same page when it comes to what it is that you're doing and how it affects everybody. So
yeah, but everybody sacrifices.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
And one of the things that I respect about you, and want to talk a little bit about Mary Nicole Douglas.
Oh yeah.
Because she's been on our show, and she did a wonderful job talking about taxes. But if we were doing some business together, she was the gatekeeper, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't get past her.
Yeah.
Right? What's happening, right?
Hey.
And I think it's important that we as business owners, and I don't care if you are black, white, male, female, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But especially I want to talk about our businesses, is making sure that we have the right professionals
Yep.
on our team.
Yep.
Attorneys, accountants,
Right.
people who can make sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. Because
Yep.
again, if you had not had those things in place,
No.
now a COVID-19 comes along, or some of the other things that you've talked about, and they wipe you out.
Yeah.
And as we're talking about, many minority businesses didn't get a chance to take advantage of the IDL money, didn't get
Yep.
a chance to take of the PPP money. It's
Yep.
because of we didn't have our records together. We didn't
Right.
have our relationship with the banks together, and
Right.
all those types of things. So I think that's important too.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I respect about you guys is that and man, I made it past me there to go. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you guys have that type of mentality. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I think
Yeah.
And I think for the viewers, just listen to what Damien and Tony are talking about. I mean, success leaves footprints. And for Damien to say that he just talked today to one of his mentors, 80 years old,
Mhm.
I mean, that's having foresight.
Yeah.
I want to learn from others, and I'm sure he has a diverse group of mentors in different industries, so
Yep.
he can take right
Yep.
and learn. So so I want to make sure we get that distinction out. So Damien, talk to us about I mean, you have franchises. I mean, whatever you can share. I mean, I want you to go there, man, and talk to us about No Grease. We have viewers, all over. There may be some that say, "Hey, I like to partner with these guys." If whatever you like to share, man, because we want to make sure that in this circle, right, every Thursday, man, we're here to bring value, and we understand that we're a village, man. And so, there may be a couple of viewers that say, "Oh, okay, y'all do okay." Because I remember you telling me, like, some of the franchise owners are not barbers.
No.
They're looking at business. So whatever you like to share, man, about your vision, where you're all going, I think that would be inspirational.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, if the viewers could just understand that, we started cutting hair, two twin brothers cutting hair in the basement in Buffalo, New York, cutting for $3, $5, whatever. It wasn't even about the money. We just enjoyed cutting hair. And to, fast forward and you turn, a hobby or something that you love doing to a business, and you're franchising it, so I'm so thankful that we were able to take it from, really take it from the mud and build it up. So, when we talk about franchises, our goal has always been to be in every state and at least 2 countries. That's the goal.
Okay.
And that's why it's a life goal. And we know we need some of the greatest minds to be a part of that, to make that happen. And one thing in our industry, I think, in our culture, we never seen barbering as a business, like a multi-billion-dollar business. That's what barbering business is. Okay. And it's because, our people, we just naturally don't understand how other cultures don't have the access to a barber like we do. Like, we have a culture that is so unique, and it's so full of wealth that we're trying to grow the business without losing that tradition and that culture, but make it an economic engine, so that we can have our own, to say that we control that. So we need franchisees, man, that just want to do business. Just so happen it's just a hair business. That's all it is. It's a business though. It's nothing different than, you know, how we pump up a lot of other people's, you know, industries that we'll never have any control over. We could join them. We definitely can join them, but we won't control it. This is one of those industries that we can control it. You know, I can be frank, man. I hire, you know, Black accountants. I hire Black insurance people. I hire Black contractors, and you know, and not saying that I wouldn't hire. I'm hiring the best, but like you said, you know, it's not that it's Black only. It's just Black first. So I look for a Black contractor first. You know, I believe in nepotism. So you know, I know. So I'm looking for family and friends that do what they say they do best. Right. And so if you want to be a part of something like that, you know, that's what No Grease is doing. Just so happened it's in the barber industry, and we have not seen the true value of it. So give us a few years. People gonna be like, okay, that's what they're talking about. We got we got 5 locations here in Charlotte. We have 1 in Georgia, and we have 1 in South Carolina. So what if it take me another 50 years? I'll just be a 90-year-old man that just was going after my dream. That's it.
Here's the bow tie.
That's right.
And here's the thing. It's a natural resource.
It's a natural resource.
Right.
So I got to jump in, man. Listen, I just had to download. So Damien, you know how we have REITs, right? Real estate investment trusts, right?
Yeah.
So could we, if you know, this is live TV, brother. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm just so passionate about what you said, man, because I'm just thinking about, you know, some of the areas, you know, where I'm from, Maryland, right? So, you know, because is that a possibility where, you know, if we get a group of people, you know, I trust, and we almost form our own investment club, you know? And,
yeah, that's how we did it. We man, anyway, it was so many ways that we were just we didn't know a lot of anything. We just worked real hard. And I always say, you know, our hard work beat out our ignorance. And then so as we worked harder, and even though we're ignorant at the time, we were learning and we just wouldn't stop until we had learned it. And so we've done the group economics is a must. That's a must. Group economics is a must. You know,
GoFundMe, man. What do they call it? The crowdfunding, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, you know what we have to do, man. We got to go through, and Chris, put up some of the comments that we had. Our viewers are so used to seeing their comments. They're gonna be emailing us. Hey, you didn't put anything I said up on the screen.
Right.
You want to put something up and just share some of those comments.
Well, I see LD Sweat said, I'm thinking the same, Marlon. Where I'm from, where I've lived, right, where I have connections, right? So you're gonna be. And look, Chris, also for everybody, write this down. No Grease, NOGREASE.com. Okay,
right.
No Grease. Okay, and I, you know, and Damien, you know, what's the best way to email you? Because one of the things I believe there are people here right now watching, like, yo, I never thought. I mean, I was looking at the comments. People are like, man, I never even thought of that. You dropped some knowledge, you know, tonight, brother. So what's the best way to contact you? Is it, you know, talk to us?
Yeah, you could go nogrease72@gmail.com. Email me, and I will return. I will definitely follow up with you. Either, you know, we could just talk. Real estate is a big part of, you know, what we do still. You know, we bought a couple of commercial buildings over the years. And you know, like I said, if people ever study the history of barbering, you know, we've always had this jewel in our community, but we just got used to it. We got comfortable with it. We didn't see it as the
we didn't know what we had. We
didn't know that it was a natural resource. It was sitting there, and we controlled it. And we've always controlled it. We just didn't see it. And that's what we want to bring to light.
Yeah. And be intentional and be on purpose about it. And so I think that's awesome. And I think it's an awesome story. I love seeing your guys' audition little tape that you did for the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of great stuff tonight.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question. how do you define success?
I've heard, that question every time. I think I give a different answer every time I hear the question. I think anything you pursuing, and it's for the betterment, of not only yourself but the people, the greater cause of people. If what you're doing is for the betterment for you, your family, and people, then that's success.
Around you. Yeah.
Man, that's good, man. And I got to say, and thank you, because again, I don't think sometimes we ever really, one thing about COVID, I think, we have a friend called Brenda, and she calls it the great pause. And I think one of the blessings is that, because sometimes, man, we're just moving.
Yeah.
We're just moving so fast, and we're not even really, we're on autopilot, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think COVID, the one blessing is you had to be still.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Stay at home, I get it, right? But, doing some inner reflecting. And I think, that question that Tony asked, what is success? Not what, the advertisers tell me.
Right.
What does success mean for me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, do I have to have the designer clothes or this car or this house? What is success for me?
Yeah.
And so I just want to say thank you, man, because that's keeping it real. And look, we got Carrie Cyril. She says it's great to support friends and family, lift each other up. She's over in Australia, brother.
Wow.
So you said 2 countries. Yeah. I know South Africa. You talked to my boy Nick.
You know that. Yes.
He's going to Australia next. Okay.
Australia it is.
Real, baby. Okay.
Wherever there's hair at, I'm good.
See in Johannesburg in a couple of years, man.
That's right.
Yeah, we're excited about it, man.
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful and proud just to know you, man. To be
Same here.
Jobs on a number of levels, man. Getting a haircut. I'm gonna get there tomorrow. And and see, for me, man, I go in there. I just like, man, I just gotta spread it around. I can't just every time. I gotta spread it around.
They love to see you,
man. But everybody at the shop, from the receptionist all the way through, have always been professional, top notch.
Thank you.
And that's just kind of wonderful to see in our business. And the chairs aren't tore up; they ain't ripped. It's a together barbershop.
Yeah.
And so there's no reason why our businesses have to be subpar to anybody else.
Never.
And that's what I like about No Grease. Love the system. Wonderful commercials you guys had on Radio 1.
Yeah.
A little bit about that earlier in the week. And
working on some more.
Awfully proud of you guys, man. Awfully proud to know you and to be a part of this thing.
Yeah.
Same here, man. Love working with both of y'all, man.
Yeah, thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man. And Damien, as we will definitely we'd like to give you some final thoughts to our viewers. You'll go full screen, just speaking to their heart. Before you do that, I'd like for our viewers to understand, this is an opportunity. No Grease is in Atlanta, South Carolina, 5 stores here or shops here in the Charlotte region. And I want to encourage us. We all have uncles, nephews, cousins, sons, grandpa, right, dads. I want to encourage you, to go ahead and let's patronize No Grease.
Yeah.
At least have the experience. Okay. Yeah. I want you to type in the chat box. Are you willing to at least share nogrease.com and encourage at least 3 people to go? Just type in the chat box, either yes or no. And I'm not offended, but I think it's important because we can talk about rotating our dollar. Right. But either it's time to walk the talk. Okay. And so we like to have you, Damien, share full screen, any words that you want to share from your heart, to our viewers. Then Tony and I will come back on, and then you stay on the green room with us. We like to, definitely, just debrief with you. But let's go full screen. And so viewers just say yes or no if you're willing to do this. I see right now, Dr. Williams says yes. Okay. Tracy says absolutely. Okay. And so, again, this is what it's about. So again, yes or no, you can say no, I'm not hurt, but we have to now raise the level of what's expected, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this man, I've seen him. I mean, I have a personal relationship. Tony has a personal relationship with him. We know his heart. And what did he say? He said individual first, family, and then community. It all starts with the haircut. And the thing is that not only is it a barbershop, not only is it a business, it's really a movement. Because this barber school, the No Grease Barber School, is these young, mostly boys, teenagers, young adults, and also females. Let's not get it twisted. There are female barbers that are rocking in No Grease. And so I just want to say that that's what it's about. And so I see Dr. Benita, yes, supporting our own Park family member. Okay. LD Sweat said awesome, very informative, inspiring. Thanks, Damien and TRMC. Lisa said absolutely. LD Sweat McKinney said yes. So man, you're gonna see an influx, bro. You're gonna see a spike.
Cool. Thank you.
You'll see a spike. So, brother, share a few words with us. You'll go full screen right now, and then Tony and I will come on and we'll just close it out. And you please stay in the green room so we can just debrief with you. So,
okay, great.
Go ahead, brother.
Well, I just want to share. First, I thank Marlon and Tony, and just reflecting back on this conversation. One of the things I do remember when I was in school, these principles are so true. You really have to write the vision down and make it plain. And that's really when I really think about where we are today, it's from us staying true to the vision that we wrote down, and we just made it so plain that we stuck to it for the last 23 years. So I would just encourage people to take the time out, especially during this time, visualize what it is that, you have been placed in your heart or your mind, and write that thing down and just stick to it. And that faith is that substance, is that hope. You got to have some type of hope, and then you got to add work to that hope, and that's what's going to bring these things to pass. That's, to me, that's truly living your life in its fullness. When you are bringing things into fruition, you're being, what God has called you to be, and that's a creator. And it could be a creator of business. It could be a creator of supporting, ideals and in your own way. It's just so many ways of us bringing our fullness to this experience that we call life. So I just want to encourage everyone, just to stay, really focused, write it down, put the work in, and just watch the magic happen. Watch it happen. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah. Well, Tony, what do you say, man? What do you say to that, brother?
Amen.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Let the church say amen.
Amen. Yeah.
And Alice Martin says, Damien, you are truly a great testament of young Black success. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
you. And Ruth Bell says, absolutely. Glad we're part of the same ministry. Right. And I just want to just close this out. One of the things that really inspired me from tonight is the audacity of this young man, he and his brother and Charlie, to say that their vision is that there will be a No Grease in all 50 states, as well as 2 other countries. And for me, that speaks volumes. Write the vision, make it plain that he that pick it up can run with it.
That's right.
Faith without works is dead. And so what it say, my people perish for lack of vision.
Yeah.
And so, you have received some nuggets of wisdom. And again, go to, YouTube, The Real Money Coach, share this video. Yeah. Share this video with the young people in your life, your nieces, your nephews, your sons, your daughters, because we can transform the world.
Yep.
We can transform right here and right now. And so I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. Remember, every Thursday night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern, we're here, The Real Money Coach, Facebook Live. And I encourage you, bring another 5, 10, 15, 20 people next Thursday, because we're going to have another entrepreneur. And remember, a vision without action is just a dream. A lot of action without a vision is merely a passing of time. But a vision with action can change the world. I am Marlon Smith, in partnership with my colleague, my brother from another, Tony Jackson, and we say thank you. Live with purpose, because your success is your choice, and together we all win. Stay blessed.